Welcome, everyone, to episode 96 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today, I welcomed the first bass player we've had on the show. His name is McLaughlin. I actually found him on Instagram doing one of his cover videos that he's been posting the last several years. And I reached out to him and just told him, I thought he was very skilled at what he did and everything. And we just actually been collaborating on music, sending ideas back and forth. And I was glad to get him kind of short notice on the episode today, get to know a little bit more about him. He talks about, his background in gospel music and growing up in the church and how that really, influenced him to want to play bass. And he's kind of just stuck with it. He talked about the different bass guitars he's been through since starting. He's really been taking it seriously the last 4 or 5 years. And he's also been self-releasing a lot of tracks on his own. As well as pursuing to work with different artists and things like that. And he actually revealed in this episode that was kind of a surprise to me that he wants to do a collab EP with me. And I'm obviously down for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of that and all the different ideas we could put together. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Definitely a great episode. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right, welcome everyone to episode number 96 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today we have a really incredible bass player today. He's probably the first bass player I've had on this show out of South Carolina. I met this guy through Instagram, just going through hashtags one day, and I saw one of his videos. McLaughlin is here. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Like I said, on such short notice, got you on this episode, and I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this episode and everything. And basically, to start out, we have the guests kind of give a bit of background. How did you get into music? How long have you been doing it? Just basic information for those that might not be aware of you and what you do.
All right. I started off when I was little. I was about 2-3 years old. My dad got me into music, and he brought a concert DVD. It was a gospel DVD, and I kind of fell in love with it over the years. And as soon as, I seen one of my favorite singers playing the bass, I just decided, I wanted to pick up a bass. So my dad ended up getting me one, and then the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. So if you were a church kid then, were you in choir as well at all?
No, I can't sing. No, I can't sing, man. Oh, no.
I kind of figured, I was I don't know if because usually it's if you're in the church, you're in somewhat of the music thing, if you're into music
right.
and stuff, and your parents are, but I think that's a different route, because I don't usually hear a lot of people that picked up bass and everything. So what exactly drew you to bass guitar other than that? Was it just the repetition of being able to play it pretty easily? Did you pick it up pretty well over the years, or how did it go?
Well, when I first started, I didn't know what to do at first, because I was okay, I got a bass now. I was excited, and the next thing you know, I just went straight to that DVD and just started just playing around with it, seeing how I can get my technique, and I just the first couple years was rocky, and then because I learned pretty much on my own. Then I started just watching videos, watching people how they play, and then just develop my own thing.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it. Actually, I didn't start playing really good until I was until maybe last or the year before. Mm-hmm. I started seeing myself progress more than what I was doing before. Yeah. So I started playing in 2018. So. During 2018 and 2019, I wasn't that good. Mm-hmm. So I just picked it back up in 2020, and just got more motivated to learn more. Mm-hmm. So
now, was that kind of a result of the pandemic, having time to kind of just pick it back up and get back used to it, or what was that experience?
Well, it was I wasn't I was playing it every day. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't progressing because I was playing it so short amount of time, mm-hmm. Not practicing enough every day for me to progress, and I just started playing back-to-back songs and trying to play the songs, and then I could start hearing. I play by ear. just start hearing the notes. I'm like, okay, now that's right. Okay, maybe that wasn't right, but then I'm just progressing, training my ear, and just trying. That's all I've been doing, and still training. Still training my ear. I mean, for the most part, I can catch on. I catch on more quickly nowadays than I used to before.
Yeah.
Um, as soon as I hear it, it might take me a little minute to get there, but I can catch on.
Definitely,
try to go with the flow.
I definitely always admire people that stick with the instruments too, because I even took guitar lessons when I was younger. I did not last because I was just impatient. I was like, this is so hard. There's no way I'm ever gonna do this, and I just never picked it back up again. So I think it really takes an individual that they just have that patience for it, and I feel like if you're a little older too, I feel like you'd have more patience for it. You can just sit down and kind of get used to it and everything, and if you know how to read music and you know how to kind of go through scales and stuff, it becomes a lot easier. I'm curious too, do you still have the same bass guitar from when you started, or are you on to a different bass? How many guitars have you had the last few years?
I had 3 different basses. I sold my 4-string because I didn't want to play the 4-string. That was my first bass. My first bass was a 4-string, the P bass. I played that pretty much until I only played that for. I recently sold it in 2021. I would say. Yeah, I sold it last year. But now I still got my blue, my Rogue, and this and the one that you saw earlier is my new bass. I only had that for about maybe 3 or 4 months now. Brought that one on my own. The other ones my dad brought, so I was able to. This time I brought me a bass. And I got 2, so I got 2, but I mainly played the new one because, I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
It's real nice. It's a Glary.
Yeah. I was going to say the new one, that's the infamous one from all the videos, all the cover videos. And
yes.
Everything. So I recognize it. I'm like, oh, that's the one. So, but.
Yeah. The more recent one, yes. But the previous ones, I was playing the blue one, which is my Rogue. Had to stop playing that one because, it was kind of, I started feeling like I was overplaying it a little bit. So I just, put that one to rest.
Yeah.
I still got it. I just, I pick it up every now and then, make sure it still works. Of course, it's fully functional. It's just, I like the new one. Of course, because, not because it's new, but it has a good sound to it.
Yeah.
But, I actually like that sound better.
Now, if there was a young kid or someone that kind of wanted to get into playing bass, is there a guitar that you would recommend as the beginner guitar that you would pick that up first just to kind of learn how to do things, or does it not really matter? I don't know how that works because I don't play, but.
Well, if I would recommend someone for a beginner, I would say get the Glary because they got 4 strings, 5 strings. Because and they're pretty much cheaper. They're the cheapest electric basses you can get, but they're good quality. Pretty much what I'm playing right now is kind of like a beginner bass, but but it sounds really good. It's some great quality to it. Strong build. Everything about it is just everything is good with it. So I would recommend a Glary. So Glary is pretty good. When I first picked it up, even though you can only order online, but hey, once you start playing it out the box, you're good to go.
Yeah, I was curious because I'm I don't really know that world at all. Even instruments in general. I don't really follow up on stuff like that. So I always wonder where do people begin, and then what do they evolve to later in their career? Because I know a lot of people change.
Right.
They move up the ladder kind of, but.
Oh yes, and I also plan on moving up the ladder too, because the Glary wasn't really my choice of bass. It wasn't even on my mind yet until I just started seeing other people starting to get it. So when I got mine, I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. But my main goal for the future is going to give me a bass mods bass, and that's a goal. It's going to be a long goal because just for one bass, it costs about $1,000. So that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, you know, but you know, I'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
Yep.
All about the
Give me a
evolution.
nice listen.
It's all about the evolution, you know. You got to kind of work your
Oh,
way up.
oh
to
yeah.
everything.
Work your way up, and then you'll find your sound, of
Yeah.
course.
100%.
Especially, you know.
So
Yes.
speaking of like defining your sound, and kind of for you, I'm curious, is like when you were growing up, who were some of the musicians that really you were listening to a lot that kind of inspired you or made you say, you know, that you wanted to do music in general?
Okay. Well, mine was mostly on the gospel side, so I have a lot of people, a lot of gospel artists I listen to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the main one I really listen to is Fred Hammond a lot, because you know he's a musician too. He plays bass as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I kind of picked it up from. And but most of the time he sings and make songs, you know, produce, do everything. He does everything. But you know, the main thing that really caught my eye was the playing the bass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I just kind of fell into that. You know.
Do you have anyone that's like a dream collaboration, like anyone you'd ever want to like play with or be on a track with? Have you ever thought about that?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I would really like to do something, not only with the big celebrity artists, of course, you know, of course, that's a dream come true, to do something like that. But I'm starting to listen to a lot of independent artists, a lot. So everybody that's in the indie, you know, indie record labels and everything like that. Like myself, I mean, you know, I'm not up there, but you know, I'm still just beginning. You know, still trying to perfect my craft. But I would love to work with quite a few people. Like Mark Kelly is one. He's pretty cool. I actually like him. He has a good vibe. And I would like to collab with him one day, of course. And this is quite a few people, and of course you.
Thank you.
You know, I would love to collab with you, man, because you know I be hearing your stuff, man, especially with the beats and stuff you be sending me. So I wanna, we got to get together, something, you know. And this is so many people. I like the indies, like everybody, but I want to get a chance to do something with everybody, not just, you know, just the famous people. You know, because sometimes, you know, not everybody gets a chance with a famous person.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to start somewhere. So, I mean, there's plenty of indie artists, a lot of independent artists out there. So, whether it's in my local town or, you know, somewhere else, you know, anywhere, you know. But, you know, that's the goal.
Yeah. It's good too to work around you and kind of work with people and just build up and just see what you can come up with. That's usually the best way to go about it. What genres do you think you're kind of dipping into a lot, especially with like the things you're posting? Is it mostly just you're going for hip hop, R&B, more jazz and gospel, like, or does it not really matter? It's kind of just whatever you're feeling in the moment, you kind of just want to play.
I'm kind of all around. Not everything. But I'm mostly gospel for the most part for my postings. But like the music I put out there, is not just gospel. Some of it might sound like gospel because, you know, I got that in me. I gotta have some kind of gospel, you know, to go with my stuff. But I'm more of R&B, hip hop, you know, some pop, you know. I mean, anything, you know, whatever it feels good that I know it, like it sounds really good. I mean, it'll come to me. You know, something. It will. It's whatever the vibe is. If I feel the vibe, then yeah, I can work with it. That's all I can say.
So what has that been like, putting out these songs on like digital platforms and everything? You've been self-releasing the last like few months, I'd want to say, like in total.
About 2 years now.
Oh, 2 years. See, I'm gonna have to go to the back catalog because I've seen the last couple because that's how long I've been following you, I think. But I gotta go check that out. So what's that been like then? Kind of just doing that for yourself then.
Well, I started out with an EP back in 2020. When I started getting better at bass, starting to get a little better at bass, I just wanted to make my own music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, making music, um, can be quite easy nowadays. You know, and it's kind of hard. The only hard part about it is getting the listeners. So it's kind of tough, for me right now
Mm-hmm.
to get a lot more listeners than I can, what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But you just gotta keep promoting.
Yeah.
Not try to keep promoting as much as I can. Um, Especially on Instagram. Instagram is where is at. That's my main home. Is being on Instagram a lot. Because that's where I get my most followers at.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to get a lot of people. Try to post a lot on there and um, just get the people to listen. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but my journey started with the EP. I put an album out the year after. But I mean, though there wasn't too good, I would say, because I kind of rushed it. So I had quite a few songs from them that was okay, pretty good, but everything else has just been singles. What I've been sending you,
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of been just dealing with that. Just put singles out, because I don't want to put too much out at once,
Yeah.
and then nobody won't really listen because it's just it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's great though, man. You got to keep it up because especially from someone like yourself that plays bass and stuff, like I think that intrigues a lot of people because a lot of people, especially I think, are just used to like hearing like just vocal tracks or rappers or singers or whatever. But it's like I think you have a unique thing you're putting out there on your own for people to be like, oh, he makes like this type of music or whatever, and then they'll go check out your page and see what else you got going on. And I think it kind of is all gonna feed into what you're trying to build eventually. And like you said, you just got to, take your time with it and build it up and just see where it goes. But I love it, man. So just keep that up. I'm curious to know if you're intrigued ever to do like live shows. Like, are you ever going to do shows of your own or maybe tour with someone if the opportunity came or?
Oh, of course. I'm actually talking with some of my family members because I have musical in my family, a lot of musical talents in my family, and I'm trying to get a couple of my family members to want to tour with because I think it would be good for us to kind of get our music out there at the same time, help each other out, and just make it unique. So trying to just have family first. That's what I'm trying to do first. Just have that family first time. And then, when the opportunity comes for me, to play something different for somebody else or something like that, then, of course I'm going to accept it, But right now I'm just focused on trying to get the family in first.
Yeah.
That's my main goal right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if something does pop up beforehand, hey, I'm still taking with me, because, you got to have the family with you. So, so some of us can do certain things. So, that's the goal right there.
Yeah. And it's cool, too, to have, like, your whole family kind of to be able to do that with, you know what I mean? Because I don't think, like, a lot of people don't have that, but I think that's, like, a very special thing. And if you guys could be able to do it, that would be, like, a story forever, you know what I mean? Like, you'd have so many stories about touring and everything. So that would be great to have happen for you. So, obviously, you put out these few singles the last few months. What is next for you? Are you just going to keep releasing singles throughout the year? Do you have anything else planned that you want to reveal that we might be able to expect, or what are you thinking?
Well, I'm still working on some things. I also got to get with you on certain things too, because I know I know we've been talking for a little while about getting some bass lines and some beats and stuff like that. I think I'm thinking we collab on something. We can make an EP or something. I mean, that's what I'm thinking
I'm
right
already
now.
dude, I'm down for that. You didn't even have to tell me. Like I'm
Yeah,
literally trying to do that with
something.
so many people, and that would be an honor.
Oh yeah,
Like,
oh yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah. And then of course we're gonna talk about that one. We're gonna talk, right after this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see what we come up with, and then maybe next time we do this again, this podcast again, then we'll tell the people.
Yeah.
Because
I was about to say, you literally took the words out of my mouth. Like, I didn't even think of it, honestly, but yes, I am down. So we'll go into detail in a bit about it. But we're down to the last few questions here. These are questions I ask on every episode. And the first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, maybe give yourself a piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
That's a good question. Wow. I think 10 years ago, how old was I 10 years ago? I was about 9 years old. Yeah. I'm sorry, 10. I'll be 20 in April, so that'll be 10 years ago. If I could change something, it would be, I don't know. That's a tough question. That's kind of a tough question. I think I might say that for next time. For next
it's
time.
Very thought-provoking, that's for sure.
It's making me think it's gonna make me think a while. Yeah. So I'm just gonna have to, because that was years ago. So I'm it's just I think we're coming back to that one.
Okay.
I have an answer for you next time.
Yeah, I was about to say there's gonna be a part 2 anyway, inevitably. So that's perfectly all right. So the flip version of that then is, in 10 years, where do you think you want to be in your life and your career?
Well, in 10 years, I hope to see myself as a, I can't really say famous, but somewhere on that food chain. Because I'm still trying to improve myself, especially with music. But I see myself in 10 years, hopefully, as a touring musician, and of course, independent artist, that's making it at some point. So yeah, that's what I got.
Love it, man. So do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Well, I could say is whatever your craft is, whatever you're working on in your life, whether it's music, art, anything, just anything that's a hobby of yours, or that you want to advance a career in, I would have to say never give up on it, because never give up on it, because you're gonna regret what if you gave up on it, because you're not gonna realize that. You're gonna realize that, man, I was doing this years ago, and now you're gonna think about, I should have got back. I should have kept it going. Because if you keep it up, just keep it up. Keep it up. Don't stop what you're doing. Don't stop what you're doing. Just keep it up, because you're going to grow. You're going to grow, and you're gonna be better.
100%, man. Well, Christian, man, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you, like I said, for even being on the show such short notice and everything. And obviously, I'm looking forward to the music that you have coming out and that we're probably going to be working on. And obviously, like I said, there's going to be a part 2. So I'm looking forward to eventually getting that going as well.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Maybe on the 200th episode. I don't know.
Man.
Something.
I mean, it's crazy because 100th is coming up. So, yeah, 200th, we might have to make that like the in-person thing and get it going, man.
Oh, yeah, man. You got to.
Thanks, everyone, for listening today. That was episode 96. We'll be back this time next week. Still on the countdown to the 100th episode coming up here in a few weeks. Stay tuned for some giveaway announcements as well as the announcement of the special guest. And until then, we'll see you guys next week. So thanks, everyone.